about culture, so the girls learn about their Irish heritage. And if you're thinking like river dance, that's not traditional Irish dance. That's modern, contemporary dance. So you will see some hard shoe movements. However, you're going to see very traditional Irish dance that would have been done in the 1700s, 1800s, all the way through to today. So, I thank you for having us. Our first dance is called the four-hand reel. Each dance has a name, and the names usually have meaning. Four-hand reel just means that there are four primary dancers in this dance, but we have a special treat because we have two griffins that will be joining us today. Isabella and Jenna, who go to Gwynedd Mercy University, and we are going to be having them come in. But before we get started, let's meet our dancers. What an entrance, right? That's how we should all walk into rooms, right? And let everybody know that we're here. So we have our girls coming out, as I mentioned. They're going to be doing the four-hand reel for you. And as the night goes on, if you think of any questions, hold on to them, because at the end, the girls and I will be happy to stay and answer any of your questions. thank you, ladies. The two that came through at the end were your very own Gwynedd Mercy students. So we're very happy that they could be here tonight. I know some of their friends are here, so that's very exciting for them as well. Now, as I mentioned, that's called the four-hand reel. And the four-hand reel, how many music majors do we have here? I know some of the music students had to come. Yeah. Okay, well, reels are not what we think of when we think of Irish dance. What kind of music do people think of? Jigs, right. Most people think, oh, they're going to be doing Irish jigs. We hardly do any Irish jigs, right? People think of Irish jigs because that's where jigs started. They started in Ireland. Reels are actually more Scottish, but that's what most of our dancing is too. However, this next dance is called the Siege of Ennis, and this dance is it can actually be done to a reel or a jig. We're going to do it to a jig because everybody wants to hear a good old Irish jig. But the Siege of Ennis, as I mentioned, all the dances have names, right? It stems from a battle that in Ireland, as you know, the Protestants and Catholics fought for a very long time. And Protestants took a bunch of land from Catholics, and the Catholics wanted it back, and that was the Siege of Ennis. And this dance is a celebration of the peace that came. And ironically now, Ennis has been voted the most friendly town in Ireland, even though it had one of the bloodiest battles, which is kind of ironic. So this next dance is called the Siege of Ennis. Traditional Irish dance has a lot of group dancing. It's called céilí. That's the Gaelic word for like a social call. And so when Irish dancers get together at a gathering, they have what's called a céilí, where they all dance. So if there was anyone here who ever danced Irish dance, and you came up, you would do the Siege of Ennis the same way that Pride of Erin does Siege of Ennis. It's just a traditional dance, and so no matter where you came from, what village you came from, when you came to the social gathering, everybody could do the Siege of Ennis together. And our next céilí is called the Walls of Limerick. Similarly, it's another group dance. And the Walls of Limerick is, like I said, everything comes from a place, right? So Limerick is a town, and historically it had a wall built around it. It was separated from the rest of Ireland. And when the wall came down finally, and it was rejoined with the rest of the towns, this dance is a celebration of that. So this is called the Walls of Limerick. to competitions. So all around the country, these dancers can go to what is called a fesh. A fesh is an Irish dance competition. And they can compete in group dances, like they might do the forehand reel, and they'll do it against other schools, and then they'll be awarded prizes. But most of the times when we go to competitions, it's solo competitions. And so these girls put on their solo dresses for you. They don't usually wear them at performances because they're heavy and they're hot. And our school dress, which most of them have been wearing, as you've seen, it looks nice when we're all uniform. You'll never see all solo dresses that are the same. Every solo dress for every Irish dancer in the entire world is an individual dress. It is designed specially and it's not repeated. They don't make copies of it. If I went to a designer and said, "Oh, make me that pink and black dress," they would say no, it's already been made. So every dancer has their own dress. Now, traditionally, in Ireland, when Irish dancing, before it became super popularized around the world, you had to wear the colors of your local parish. So if your parish was pink and blue, your dress had to be pink and blue. Now, and it's still individualized towards you. However, now the girls get to pick whatever colors they want, which they like a lot better. Because some of the parish colors, as you can probably think, if you're thinking of your parishes, might be like, no thanks. I know my parish is maroon and gold, so no, but that's okay. These three ladies, and as you can see, that as they move, you'll see the sparkles. All of their dresses, that's real Swarovski crystals that get added on. So your dress might start out at like $1,000, $1,500, but as you add more and more jewels, like Miss Sarah's a bit of a jewel pig up there in her white dress. She's a little sparkly. Don't look too closely. You might get blinded. I'm going to bet that price originally was a lot higher because the jewels add up. But they're going to do their steps that they would do if they were in a competition against other schools. So now, each of those girls, if you were paying attention, if you noticed, they all have different steps. Just like their dresses, each of their steps is unique to them. So, for example, maybe Juliana has really great jumps, so they'll add in a bunch of jumps. The choreographer will add in a bunch of jumps to her steps. And Sarah maybe has a beautiful spin, so they'll add more spins. And maybe Jess has really good kicks, so they'll add in extra kicks. So it's really specialized to accentuate what your skill set is. And no one can perform that step at any other school. So if I'm from another school and I see Sarah dancing and I'm like, "Ooh, I like that," I cannot do that. I'd be automatically disqualified if they see me doing any step from Pride of Erin and I'm not from Pride of Erin. Now, another Pride of Erin dancer can use that same step, but not from another school. All right, little quiz real quick. So, hello. Yes, good job. Thank you, sir. All right, so these three lovely ladies here, I'm going to just do a little vote. Round of applause. Which one do you think is my daughter? Round of applause. Clap if you think. Little votes for Sarah. How about Jess? Couple votes for Jess. How about this giant blonde girl? Right? Patty? All right, good job, ladies. Go ahead back. I actually like this better. I'm going to use this one if that's okay. I feel like we go on like tour here. Okay, so all these girls have been dancing. You're going to see if you look at the next crew that comes out. You can come on out, ladies. We have dancers from as young as. Where's Miss Jovi? Can I see you for 1 second? Now, Miss Jovi is not dancing tonight. Come here real quick, Jovi. This is Miss Jovi, and she is. How old are you?
3.
She is 3 years old. Is your sister up here? No, she isn't. She just started. So she's coming to observe. But sometime, maybe next time if we get invited back, maybe Miss Jovi will be up on stage, right? So we have dancers as young as 3 and dancers as young as 83 at our school, going through the full gamut. And you can see all the ages. And some of these girls are from different locations. They might not all dance at the same location. That's the beauty of traditional Irish dance. They can come from the Philadelphia location. They can come from the Sellersville location, and we can all come together. They might not even know each other's names. I mean, we're pretty good at introducing each other. But they could dance together, and you wouldn't have any idea that they just met for the first time. So that's the fun of traditional Irish dance. This next dance is called the Sweets of May. And the Sweets of May comes from the early Celtic people, the Gaelic people, worship the sun, actually. And so a lot of their movements are going to have a lot of circular movements from the early dances. And you're going to see in this dance, the Sweets of May, a lot of that circular movement. And sometimes you'll notice if they are going in a clockwise direction, it means that it was a joyful ceremony. And if they're going counterclockwise, it means it was a sorrowful or mourning ceremony. So there's so much richness to Irish dance. It's not just about, oh, that looks cool, or wow, that's fun. Every step has a lot of meaning. So we don't have time to go into all of it tonight. But we'll just give you a little taste. So this next dance is called the Sweets of May. forgot. So as I mentioned, we usually dance towards to reels, right? And I mentioned that that is from Scotland, and Ireland obviously gave us the jig. But there's another dance that we can dance to. It's called the hornpipe, and that came from England. And so this next dance is actually a combination of those. Because if you think about Ireland, there's plenty of Scots, and there's plenty of Brits, and there's plenty of Irish. So this dance has a reel, a jig, actually it goes jig, reel, and then hornpipe, and then it starts over again, jig, reel, hornpipe. So it's called the three tunes. And you're gonna see something a little different. This dance was a dance used at celebrations. I love this walking around power, I feel so. So when the girls are here, coupled up like this, traditionally, this one would always be the male. So raise your hand if you're a gentleman, and raise your hand if you're a lady. Since tonight we only brought ladies with us, they're filling in, but that would be traditionally how, if couples went to a ceilidh, remember a social gathering, then they would pair up like this with their partners, and they would dance. And you're gonna see something different that you haven't seen yet in Irish dance. And this is probably one of the only ones, one of our dances that has this, so I hope they go for it. Oh, by the way, it's 0-0. mad at me because there's two versions of that song, and I picked the really fast one. I don't know if you noticed. She always is a big fan. I'm gonna have you come out here for a second. So I just think it looks more fun when it's fast, but I didn't tell them we were doing that, so it was a little extra bonus surprise. But in case you haven't noticed, which I'm sure you have, there's really some traditional posture movements with Irish dance. You'll notice that their feet are always turned out. So they never stand with their feet straight. Always turned out, which, I mean, if you want to get up and try it, it's not super fun. But it's actually a turnout from the hip, not the ankle, so it doesn't actually hurt. You can look, well, that's not how mine looks, but very good job. Okay, they also have to dance on their toes. You scooch up. Heels can never touch the ground. You could lose a competition because the judge sees your heels go down. So, even if you've been on your toes the whole time, but you go down once, you'll get that little comment, heels went down. So they have to stay on their toes. They have to keep their arms straight down. So feet turned out, arms straight down. And then the most important part, their upper body has to stay perfectly still and rigid. So, that doesn't seem very fun, right? That seems kind of like, what? Why are you doing that? All right, well that comes from somewhere. It's not just, let's think about how could we make this really uncomfortable. Well, the rigid upper body, it comes from, as you know, in Ireland, the English took over and they really wanted to eradicate Irish culture. And so they wanted to suppress anything Irish. So Irish dancing was banned. You were not allowed to Irish dance. But if you've ever been to Ireland and you're driving through the countryside, what do you see? Barns everywhere, right? So they would meet for a ceilidh in the barns. And think of old barn doors. Where do they stop? Really high, right? You open that top part, and then you stand, and you can dance, and if your upper body is still, they don't know you're dancing. So they lost a lot of that traditional arm movement in the ceilidh, so that the soldiers walking by wouldn't see that they were dancing in the barns. So that's where that comes from. So like I said, we could nitpick each dance. Why do they do this? Why do they do that? It's very traditional in that it comes from somewhere. And that's the beauty, I think, of traditional Irish dance. All right. Now, I don't know if you're ready for this, but we have a special treat for you. All right, ladies, I promised you a good jig. And so, our friends, Miss Brianne and Ella and Bryn, are going to do their best jigs just for you. Are you ready, ladies? Didn't they do a fabulous job? All right.
My name is Brianne, and I'm 10 years old.
Fabulous. Thank you, ladies. Great job. Wow. You did a great job. Now, when they first come to class, so when Miss Jovi first came for her first night of class, she learned a jig. As you can see, the girls in the sparkly dresses, they didn't do jigs. They never do jigs, unless they came here and I asked them. Juliana came out to help them because on Irish dance, you only can start on an 8 count. So in order to stay with the beat of the music, they have to stay on an 8 count, and it takes them a little while to be able to pick up that beat. So that's why she was there to count them out. So when they come the first night, they're gonna learn a jig. You know your jig, Jovi? Yeah, you know your jig, right? And then once you advance out of jigs, once you get from a beginner to an intermediate to a novice, no more jigs. Novice, prize winner, preliminaries, champions, they don't do jigs. They mostly only do reels. But the next dance, the second dance they learn after they learn their jigs, is a dance that we're gonna invite some of you up for in a little bit. We're gonna teach it to you. It's gonna be super fun. It's super easy. So start working up your courage to raise your hand in a minute. But before we get to that, in Irish culture, as I mentioned, every dance stems from somewhere. This next dance is called the fairy reel. And in Irish culture, fairies are not like make-believe cartoony things like we might think about here in America. In Ireland, fairies are a really important part of their culture. So much so that about 20 years ago, they wanted to build a new highway to connect two cities. And it went through all of the government funding and all that, and then the town people realized it was going to cut through a sacred fairy tree, where tradition says that the fairies stay in the winter, because they only come out in the spring. And so the town was in an uproar, and they actually got the road diverted. So we have this highway that goes around the fairy tree. So this next dance is in honor of the fairies. It's called the fairy reel. Well, like I promised, we're gonna need a couple volunteers here. So, let's see, I need, oh, you're finding me friends, I love that. I need 8 friends.
Music students, come on.
1, it's extra credit. Oh, it's so easy, okay. Jovi, that's cheating, you already know this dance. All right. You want to come on up? All right, come on out. Jenna's going to find us some friends if we don't have enough. There you go. Jenna, grab us. We have 1, 2, 3. We need 5 more. Look at that. It's like perfect timing. If you can walk and count to 3, you can do this dance.
Come on, be brave. Be brave.
My man. Here we go. I like it. All right. We can separate it. All right. Come grab a little one. Come grab a gentleman. I love it. We got plenty of dancers here. We might have to split. Hold on. You got dancers? Do you need a partner? You're in hard shoes. There you go, Jeff. We got somebody here. Over here. There you go. Grab a partner. All right, here we go. Girls, back it up. On stage. Get in a line.
Okay, Megan.
Line them up. We got to spread out. Oh, look at that. There we go. All right, we can make a line here too. Isabella, turn around, leave the line. We're going to go that way. All right, here. You guys can come down here. You can stay here on the stage. Perfect. Line face that way. Caitlin, face that way. There we go. All right. Rebecca, there you go. You're good. All right, now, it's a really easy dance. I forgot to mention there's a little bit of a twist, but you'll be fine. It's good. Jenna, we saved your spot front and center. Here we go. All right. Good job, Bree. All right. So we're going to walk forward, right? And then we're going to walk back. And then we're going to walk forward, and we're going to kind of turn around in this interesting little dynamic. It's kind of fun to experience it with the music, just as a free-for-all. Jovi will tell you, we don't actually break it down and show them. We grab them a partner, and then their partner pulls them through the dance. So it's going to be a little bit of a hot mess for the first maybe 8 bars, and then it's going to be beautiful. Okay, so don't close your eyes if you don't like chaos. But then it's going to get cute, all right? All right, are we ready? Or just focus on these guys back here, because they know what they're doing. All right. Well, they're going to be walking, so there we go. Sure, yeah, you're going for it. All right. Don't panic. You'll be fine. They're just going to drag you. That's what we do to our beginners. I mean, it's a Scottish dance. It's not even an Irish dance, but we teach it to them because it's easy, and it's nice, and it's fun. So you'll be fine.
Father, why are you so sad on this my Easter morning? When Irishmen are proud and glad on the land where they were born. Oh, son, I see in memories view a far-off distant day. But being just a lad like you, I joined the IRA. There are the lads who stood with me when Mr. Needles made. Oh, brother, I long to see the boys of the old brigade.
This might be the best first trial I've ever seen.
Was heard by one and all, and from the glen came waving men to answer Ireland's call. 'Twas long
All right, last time.
they stopped the old captain and me, and by my side they fought and tight that Ireland might be free.
Oh, what a great job. All right. Last thing you got to do is everyone has to point your foot, and bow. Beautiful. Great job. Fabulous. All right, Miss Juliana. So, Miss Juliana's going to come out. Some of the girls are going to change their shoes, so this is a stall technique, but it's all right. Juliana, whenever you're ready. Yep, she already changed. So, Juliana has on now her hard shoes. And they look like tap shoes. They sound like tap shoes. However, Irish tap shoes are a little different. Irish hard shoes don't just have taps on the bottoms. They have taps all over. In the fronts, in the sides, on the bottoms, obviously, you'll hear. And then we can do clicks in the air. Oh my goodness. She does not get extra credit. That's all right. It's all good. We usually do this to music, but so you can hear the rhythm that is involved. Why there's so many different taps. It's not just banging on the ground. There's stuff on the side. She's going to click her heels. She's going to do all kinds of things so you can hear the rhythm. We're going to leave the music off for a couple steps so that you can hear this. All right, now, as we mentioned, are Pride of Erin School of Irish Dance, and we take pride in being a family school. So, I'm bringing out cousins, but Brent, how long have you been dancing? Do you remember? When did you start? When she was 3, so you've been dancing for 5 years? And Jenna, when did you start, Jenna? When I was 3. So you've been dancing for 17 years? Isn't that fun? But wait, Jenna's older sister also dances and now teaches at Pride of Erin. And when did Megan start? When she was 5 and she's now? Are you sure? Okay, she's 26, so she's been dancing for 21 years. So we like to keep it in the family. Let's see. Hold on, I won't leave you out here by yourself. Do I have any sisters back here? Come on out. I don't remember if we brought sisters. Oh, Miss Fiona, come out for a second. And Sayla. So we have sisters here. When we have our recital, it's quite a deal for families actually because they get to come all see all their kids dance at the same time. Jovi, come here. Do you know any of these girls? You don't know any of these girls? Really? What, can you look again? You don't see Yaya? Okay, go ahead up. Now you wouldn't know it until she turns around and you look at her face. Turn around. They literally are like copy and paste, right? And Fiona's sister's not here. She's a traitor. She's at where? She's at school doing school dance. And how long have you been dancing, Fiona? About 10 years, and your sister too. We used to drag her when she was little and she would cry and we'd just make her dance anyway, right? So we like to keep it in the family. And again, this is another stall technique so Juliana can catch her breath because she's in the next dance. All right, thank you all. All right, send them out for Chris Cross. All right, Miss Jovi, come here, sweetie Petey. We're gonna go this way. You gotta see her at class. If we come again, we'll bring her in her dress. All right, this next dance is called crisscross, and it's Pride of Erin's signature dance. So no other school does this dance the way that we do, and these are some of our advanced dancers, and they're gonna do crisscross for you. There's your 2 griffins out front. with our last dance, and we're going to be bringing out everyone. So if our first line wants to come on out. They don't want the show to end, I guess. All right, well, as they are gonna stay there and pose for a pretty little picture, maybe our first row could get on their knees, and their second row go alternating, like go in between heads. There you go, perfect. No, the second row, stand up, just go ahead. There you go. Does anyone have any questions for us? I can't even see in the crowd. If you have a question, oh yes, ma'am.
So when they're in a competition, how long would a routine be for them?
Excellent question. So when they are doing, first of all, let me just tell you that the fesh, the competition, it takes all day. I mean, can I get an amen, parents? It's an all-day event. However, each dance they do 2 steps for. So like when Sarah and Juliana and Jess came out in their dresses and they did their little routine, that would be the real competition. Each of them would do 2 steps. Then they'd have a hornpipe competition. Then they'd have a light jig. Oh, no, they don't do light jigs. They do slip jigs. We didn't do any slip jigs for you tonight. That's kind of like, oh, did you want to see a slip jig? Let's get a slip jig going. We're going to do a slip jig just for you. Any other questions?
Music students.
Yes. In their capes. Yes, great question. Okay, so I could give you the professional answer. This is what it used to be. Let me tell you what it used to be. It used to be when you were a new student, Miss Brienne, come here. Can you turn around? When you were a new student, we don't want your family to pay a lot of money to get a fancy cape, so we just be painting you one. We just paint you one, and we say the whole getup is $40. Easy, nice and done. And then, let me see. Margaret, do you have an embroidered? Yeah, turn around. Here we go. So Miss Margaret has on an embroidered cape. When you're ready to spend a little more money, you can move up. You can level up to this next dance. Miss Jenna. Miss Jenna, you can see Miss Jenna's dressed a little bit more. So we went from 40 to 125 to 400. A little bit of a jump. So if you don't want to spend the money, you don't have to. We have options. Thank you, ladies. Go back to your spots. However, now, because so many girls are competing, if they start on day one and they got the money and they want to buy a $400 dress, they're allowed to. When Juliana and Jenna and Isabella and all that, the older girls started dancing, they weren't allowed to have a dress. But now, for competition purposes, they are allowed to have a dress. Any other questions? Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I want my music students to take note that every time they did a jig, what time signature was it?
3-4.
What was it?
3-4.
6-8. 6-8.
6-8,
It's
yeah.
really, and it simplifies down to 3-4.
Absolutely, we could reduce it.
I wanted
This
you
is
all
a
to
math
hear
class.
that. The reels were all in 4. They
Yeah.
were duples or quadruples. They were all.
Um,
I just want them to hear all of this.
Miss, how about,
So that when she
Ella?
said they start on 8, that's why she meant that they actually start on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This is the first part of the jig step. Ready? Go. Toe, throw, 1, 2, 3, 4. Toe, throw, 1, 2, 3, 4. It adds up to 6, right? That's a jig step. Perfect. You gotta show up with the high kick. Good girl. Okay. So you can't see that. It goes toe, throw, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 6-8 signature that you're looking for. Yep. And I'm sorry, you had a question.
How many boys do you attract?
Good question. So she asked, how many gentlemen dancers do we have? Currently, we have 3. However, we have had up to 6 to 8 at some times, but we have over 100 dancers, so not a ton. I don't know. Sayla's brothers, what are you thinking? You thinking? She's got a bunch of brothers. Maybe we can draw some of them in. We'll cut them a deal, give them a discount. What do you think, River? Yeah? No? Oh. All right. All right. I promise a slip jig.
Okay, go ahead.
Who's my slip jig volunteer? Well, we're just going to do one step. Thank you all. You're fabulous. Miss Rebecca, come on out. Let me find a slip jig for you. Scoochie back, my lovelies. A slip jig is like Irish ballet. That's the comparable. That's why she wants to see the pretty movements. Thank you, Miss Rebecca.
I want to say a very special thank you to Christy for giving us such a wonderful narration on each of the pieces. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming tonight, and most especially, I want to thank these beautiful dancers.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it, and we're very happy to celebrate your 75th anniversary with you. So thank you.
Thank you. House lights up. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.